What is up, fellow summoners? Welcome back to the channel today. My name is Joel. It is kind of funny how quickly things can change in the game. It was my last 5-star crystal opening that you're watching here. I did pull a Winter Soldier, which at the time, and if you saw the video, I was not too happy about that. That was the third time I had pulled him, I believe, in the last five-star crystals that I had opened. Which at the time I was not aware of any changes coming, was not aware of the patches that was looming around the corner that was going to see big changes for Winter Soldier. So basically, when I did see the patch notes drop, I was really excited for three different characters. I was really excited for Hulk, Punisher, and also Winter Soldier, and I've kind of kept back Winter Soldier here till the end because he was the one that I was most excited for. He's the character that I've got as a 5-star, and he's the one that I really wanted to put the most testing into. Currently, I do have him, or had him, I should say, as a fully ranked up 550 4-star. And I didn't think it made a whole lot of sense to have him fully ranked up as a 4-star, but not, ranked up as high as I could as a 5-star. So I went ahead and kind of swapped them there. I took out all the catalysts out of the 4-star and turned around and put them into the 5-star. As far as his awakened ability, it did not change. Whenever you get a critical hit, there's just a flat rate of 15% that you're going to get a power drain, which the amount that is drained, that's kind of what is affected by the signature level. The higher it is, obviously, the more power drain that you are getting. But the biggest change took place with the different ammo types that they gave to him, and I was a little bit unsure how this was all going to play out, but it sounded like a kind of a cool characteristic and a cool trait, and it's a lot more fun to play with than I thought it was going to be. I was worried that the swipe back and holding down of like it's 2.5 seconds, I think, to kind of cycle in between the ammo types if you didn't want to use a special to get to a particular one. I thought it might be kind of clunky. I still think it is a little clunky. I wish it wasn't quite as long as it is. I wish you could swipe back and hold and more quickly cycle through the ammo types, which I guess possibly they did that because if you are evading back and blocking, you could very easily switch between ammo types if it was only like 1 second, which I understand that could be kind of frustrating. But basically, as you see right there, the ammo type that you start each fight with is the armor piercing round, which from what I can tell, the armor piercing round is there for bleed immune characters mostly. Most bleed immune characters have got a higher block proficiency. They tend to have a lot of armor up or resistance abilities, physical resistance abilities. So the armor piercing round does exactly what it sounds like it would do. It bypasses all block proficiencies and all armor ratings. It just does kind of its base damage for all special attacks, whether that be special 1, 2, or 3. The second type, frankly, the first and the second, the armor piercing and the incinerate, both are good for bleed immune champs because there are none. I can't think of any right now. Champs that are immune to incinerate. I think Iceman, who is not even in the game yet, is the only one and the first one coming to the contest that is. So right now, if you've got a character that you can't put a bleed on, you're probably going to want to try to cycle back to your incinerate ammo type before you are using any of your specials. It only ticks, as you can see right there on Raccoon, for about 93, which isn't a whole lot. It's better than nothing, and if you manage to get 1 or 2 bleed stacks, any extra damage is nice. The third and final ammo type would be the Hollow Point. That's the one, I always forget that name. Hollow Point. Basically, any bleed effect that is triggered by a special when you have the Hollow Point ammo loaded up is going to be 50% longer, which that is kind of the ammo type that I have found myself drawn to the most. If I've got a character that I can put a bleed on, that is definitely the one that I want to try to get to. I found sometimes that in my pursuit of trying to get the perfect ammo loaded up, I was actually drawing fights out longer than they really needed to be, and also was putting myself, in not exactly the most ideal situations. If you are getting so focused on trying to swipe back and hold down the block, Um, Often I was finding myself getting backed into a corner depending upon the character, which frankly just didn't need to happen. I would have been better off, not necessarily getting Hollow Point or Incinerate, and just being happy with the fact that I can use a special, cycle my ammo, and continue my fight in the normal flow. This fight here, I was kind of trying to go up against a bleed immune champ, trying to, like I said, cycle between my ammo types, and get over to that. These names I should have written down in front of me so that I wouldn't keep screwing them up. But the armor piercing round is the one that I was trying to cycle through. His damage overall, even without the bleed effects, is still pretty good. Do keep in mind he does have a fury buff that he gets that seems like it does proc quite a bit. When you are running, like the first fight that I showed you against Rocket Raccoon, that's not really his true damage just because Safeguard is on for that fight. That was a Road to the Labyrinth of Legends fight. So this fight here is Act number 4, final boss fight against Maestro. This is kind of a better true idea of the kind of damage that he does, which he is only, keep in mind here, rank 3. So if I were to take him up another rank, I can only imagine he's really going to be putting on quite a bit of damage. Basically, in all of these fights, and I did get my butt handed to me right there. He hit me for almost 2,000 damage with a blocked hit. But I don't want to get into that right now. The screw up with the block proficiency. I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I was just talking around along the lines of maxing this character up. I think he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. So my plan for him is if I do take him up to rank 4, and even if I don't, I really am looking forward to using him in the new Act 5 quests. One thing that I wish that you could control a little bit more. His power drain is really effective. It just adds another layer on top of Winter Soldier that kind of gives him a little more utility in questing. But the one thing that bugs me is when you're going up against characters that you really need to have in a special 1, or you need them to be in special 2. It's a little more difficult to control those fights. Because for instance, this here, this is the Road to the Labyrinth. This is actually the fight right after Rocket Raccoon. And this is a stun immune champion, so she is a big pain to deal with. And a lot of the times, the only place that you've got to hit her is if you kind of bait out a special and hit her after she's vulnerable, like right there. So if in that case, I'm trying to push her to her special. I'm getting a power drain. I'm actually kind of working against myself, shooting myself in the foot when I'm trying to get to that special and it's power draining. I wish that there was a mechanic where you kind of built up these charges, or I don't know what the wording that you'd want to use, but as you attack and use special, you build up these abilities, and then once you get to a certain point, the next special that you do power drains the champ. I realize why they didn't give him that necessarily. I think at some point you don't want to give a single character too much control, or you end up with a Scarlet Witch. And I do apologize here. For some reason, my connection was showing connection issues, even though it was playing fine. I've had a lot of issues with Reflector over the last couple of days, which has kind of made creating content a little bit difficult. But do bear with me as I kind of I work with the Wi-Fi that I have. Overall, my thoughts and opinions on Winter Soldier is that he is vastly improved. I cannot stress that enough over the old Winter Soldier. The old Winter Soldier was really not useful in really any parts of the game. I mean, if you wanted to use him in regular questing, that was fine. But as far as Alliance Wars and Alliance questing, there was nothing about him that would make you want to bring him in over any other bleed characters or any other power drain characters. Now, though, I think he's in a good spot. Like I said, I think he's in such a good spot that I'm actually considering, like I said, taking him all the way up to rank 4. One thing that I didn't mention is his Special 2, which I didn't use a lot here. His Special 2 is really, really good. I don't think that you're going to really be able to fully evade any of that. So even on Alliance Wars in defense, he's still going to be a good champ. But every single one of those bullets that he fires off, and I want to say it's probably close to like 8 to 10, but every single one of those bullets that he fires, if it crits, you know, that's going to be a power drain. So every special 2 that you're doing, it's got kind of almost a built-in probably 50% chance that you're going to get a power drain every time you use it. So can I recommend Winter Soldier to you? Definitely. You know, if you were debating between taking up your Punisher or your Winter Soldier, obviously that kind of is your personal preference. They're both really awesome champs. But for my money, I actually really enjoyed kind of the depth that the different ammo types brought to the character. And I really hope that in the future, as Kabam is introducing new characters and even going back and kind of taking a look at some of the older characters, that they take a look at Winter Soldier and try to implement some of these unique play styles to them. It just overall makes the game, you know, even if it doesn't make them this super awesome champ, great in all areas of the game, it just makes the experience overall a lot more fun when there's more thought put into the characters and there's a lot more options that you have, whether you're going up against bleed immune champs or physical resistance champs, or, you know, like squishier champs, you know, with glass cannon type characters using S2s and S3s. Really, I had a great time testing him, and I do look forward to using him more. Obviously, once we finally get into Alliance Quests and Alliance Wars, I will have a lot more content to bring. But I just don't know when that's going to be, so I didn't want to sit around forever and wait for that to get out before I gave a review for you guys. Alright, if you have any questions, as always, more than happy to help you guys out, so leave those down in the comments. Follow me over on Twitter if you wanted to contact me there as well. Happy to answer questions when I can. Appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I really appreciate all the support that my channel has received over the last couple of days. Honestly, it's more than I could have asked for, and I really do thank my subscribers and thank the people that are taking the time to support the channel. Alright, until the next video, guys, take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.